We're excited to have you here. We're excited to continue this event, which has proven to be a real source of pride to us. As you know, if you've been around York College at all, athletics is a huge part of our culture, a huge part of our pride. If you go to the Freedom Center for the game tonight and tomorrow, you'll see all the All-Americans, all the conferences and national performances that we've had over the last 9 or 10 years, and it's been a very impressive run. So we're very proud of our athletic programs, and the reason we're proud is not necessarily because of the won-loss records, which are impressive, but because of the character that the coaches are instilling in our young people. And our programs and our coaches are programs and coaches of character and spirituality, and it's making a difference not only for college, but in the program. We want you to think about this event, people that you might think are eligible to be nominated for the Hall of Fame. You know, every year we will do anywhere from 1 to 3 nominees, and we want to recognize those people who have great accomplishments and have made a contribution to who York College is. So if you have some thoughts about that, make sure to get in touch with the athletic department and let them know. We're going to do the food service a little bit different, and that is, first of all those of you who are honorees from the soccer team, national championship soccer team, you and your families will go through the line first, and then as the line kind of gets smaller, we're going to start from this end and just follow that through. As we get ready to have that meal, and where's Brad? You will start the food line. Okay? So if there's anything left after Brad gets through the rest of the I want to introduce to you our head soccer coach, Alex Vittori. This is a monumental day for him. He's going to lead us in our prayer for the meal, but as we announced in chapel, he is also yesterday, day before yesterday or yesterday, he asked Corey Maneras, who is our assistant basketball coach, to be his wife, so they're on the road to getting there. We're excited.
That's great. I love you, Father. Thanks for this day. It's a beautiful day you gave us. Allowed to be here to honor class men's soccer 92 for establishing the championship in the school, and I love the quote, honor the past, and build the future. And thank you guys for being here and give us the motivation to continue building something good. Stay with them with the safe travel, back to the family, to the loved ones. Thanks for your college. Continue building a beautiful thing here. Continue to develop the young, the student, to influence them to what matters the most, which is you. Thanks for this food we want to partake, to nourish our body. And thanks for the most special thank you for your son, who died to give us an opportunity to be in heaven with you one day. In his name we pray.
Hello everybody, my name is Jared Stark, and I'm the athletic director here at York College. Thank you so much for coming to our Hall of Fame luncheon ceremony this year. Very, very excited to see so many people in attendance. So we're going to go ahead and get the program kicked off. This luncheon kind of runs back to back with our golf tournament, and so we need to get this thing underway. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to introduce to you one of our coaches and one of our former players, also alum of York College, who works with our Letterman's Association. Please welcome to the stage Ronnie Miller.
I was a freshman in high school when the 1992 soccer team won their national championship. I say that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to make Chris Luther feel really old. And number 2, because members of your team had an impact on my life and you probably don't even know it. I I grew up in the Central Valley of California. I was a D1 bound college athlete, and York College was never on my radar. Until one day in junior high, when I met this man named Jerry Stocka. Jerry was old and loud, and he came to my church camp every summer. He would hire college students to help him get around. Jerry was a crazy man, but he knew how to love. There wasn't a person at camp that didn't have his business card. He spent his life being a youth counselor and helping lost teens. A lot of times, the college students that he would hire during the summer would come from York College. A couple of them are in the crowd now. These college guys would play ping pong with us, kick the ball around with us, and I watched them care for Jerry, which wasn't easy. Stuart Sykes tried so hard to get me to consider York College, but I wouldn't budge. My dream was to play softball in Fresno, so I made the choice to stay close at home. My class sizes were huge, my professors didn't know my name, I was known as row 1, seat 2, and my teammates cared more about the after party than the actual game. I knew that I needed a change, and so I remember calling 1-800-950-YORK in December 1996, praying that Stuart would answer the phone, but he didn't. Instead, this admissions counselor that I didn't know answered, and I frantically told him that I needed to be at York College. I told him I was a softball player from California and that Stuart had been my admissions counselor, and before I could say any more, he said, "Wait a minute, is this Stuart Roney from Madera?" I had been in Fresno for 4 months and nobody knew my name, but this admissions counselor, who had only spoke to me for 2 minutes, already did. That admissions counselor was Matt Coppinger. I called Jerry to tell him that I needed help convincing my parents that I needed to go. And he came over and he told my mom and dad what fools they would be if they didn't let me go. He also reminded my parents about the godly York College students that we had met through the years. You never really know the impact that you have on someone's life. So some of you had an impact on me choosing YC, and you can continue to have that impact on students here today. York College changed my life, and it probably changed yours as well. Just a few years ago, when I was teaching and coaching in California, I got my first donation letter from the Letterman's Association. I remember that the letter said, "Honor the past, build the future." Those 6 words completely said it best. Yes, I'm a head coach of a program here at York College, but I'm an alumni first. And I've been a member of the Letterman's Association since the start of it in 2011. It's important to me that all of our programs grow and make their mark in the NAIA, and we need your help. The biggest stress besides recruiting is wondering if our programs will be funded through the year. Our programs continue to succeed and we go without every day. There's something about having a sharp uniform that makes a player do amazing things. When I took the program over 3 years ago, the team didn't have one matching uniform. They had mismatched helmets, they looked sloppy, and they played sloppy. It was amazing what a few donations could do for a team. We were able to purchase brand new equipment and uniforms, and it didn't surprise me when my team started to win. My players, for the first time as Panthers, could walk onto the field and be proud of what they look like. Donors that believed in my players, believed in me as a coach, but more importantly, believed in our mission. Today, we ask you to be a part of that mission. Let's grow YC Athletics together. You have pledge cards on your table. You can become a member of the Letterman's Club today with just a $50 donation. With your donation, you'll be added to our VIP list and receive free entrance into the volleyball game tonight and the basketball games tomorrow. So please fill out your card. There should be a current coach at all your tables, and all of us love receiving checks. So hand them your membership card and $50 donation today before you leave. Today, a new Letterman, Nolan Rafey, would like to hand me his check right now. And I'd like Nolan to say actually a few words while he's here.
Thanks, Ronnie. My name's Nolan Rafey. Some of you know my family in different levels. Some of you know my father, some of you know my mother, some of you know my siblings. I have recently, about 3 years ago, we started a booster club for the men's and women's soccer programs. I'm not saying that, should I? And so I just want you guys to be aware of it. One of the ways that we're trying to get information out regarding the booster club is through a Facebook page. So those of you, especially the 92 team, some of you might remember me as a little kid. I was 6 years old. I was enjoying the pictures the muddy mess that was out there. I was 6 years old. I was the ball boy on the south side of the field during that game, and I remember the whole thing. So just like Ronnie was saying, you guys have had an impact. I ended up coming to York College based on how much I loved and fell in love with the soccer program. Every Saturday that I would hear that loudspeaker turn on, I would hop on my bike, and I'd ride over to the stadium, and I'd watch the York College men's soccer.
So, I think my battery's not that. Anyway, I'd love for you to turn this on. Anyway, if you have your phone with you and you have Facebook on your phone, can you pull that out real quick? Pull your phone out. Go onto Facebook. Go to the search tab and type in YC Soccer Boosters. Every year we're going to be updating information. We want to help. As you guys are aware, you go to Walmart to pick up. You got $5 to be able to buy your meal before the game. Those types of things. We would like for the teams to be able to have maybe a little bit more nourishment before and after the games, and maybe instead of staying in the Econo Lodge that has mice running around in the lobby, maybe take them to a Holiday Inn. So every little bit of that money makes a big difference. And so if you guys can help us out, we're going to be hosting an alumni soccer game tomorrow at 1 o'clock out in the complex. Come and enjoy. We'll do free will donation. We're charging the guys $20 to play. We're giving you a t-shirt, and the idea behind that is that we want to try to raise some funds so we can help out the men's and women's teams. We're splitting everything 50-50 between both programs. So if you can go to YC Soccer Boosters and like our Facebook page, all of the updates will be on that. I'd love for you guys to get connected and know what's going on when we do alumni games, when we've got different things for fundraising activities for the teams. Please help us out. Thank you for your time.
Who have been a letterman, whether it's on a yearly basis or a lifetime basis, or if you're in our Hall of Fame, it's because you have made tremendous contributions to who we are and what York College stands for. And that's a really, really special thing. I want to say thank you to this 1992 team. It's really cool this year because we have some great individuals who are here to be recognized. Some people that I've known for.
I think I can yell loud enough. Great individuals that I've known for years, just special, special people. Chris Luther, he and I go back a long way. And he has been very instrumental in my career, been an encouragement and a friend to me throughout the years. And so it's cool to get a chance to be a part of this for him. Guys like Matt Coppinger, who has been a force of good in the state of Nebraska for decades. And so this is a special day, I think, for many people to get a chance to be a part of this. One person I don't know quite as well, and I'm going to introduce to you first, is Nate Cleveland. I know Nate's brother Josh. Josh and I were students here together at York College. We try to involve as many members of the the 1992 team in the program as we possibly could. And so I want to get us kicked off with the program to talk about the story of the season.
Check, back on, okay. No guarantee how long this is going to last, so Nate better talk quick. And so Nate, if you know Nate at all, you'll know that Nate is a little bit of a storyteller. And so I asked him just to kind of get this ceremony further in depth here by telling us the story of the 1992 season. So please welcome Nate Cleveland.
Okay. Jared called probably a week and a half or so ago and was like, hey, you coming still? Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to be there. Could you do this? We want a retrospective. Yeah, sure, whatever you want. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, yeah, just like a 30 for 30 ESPN documentary, the whole season, but in like 5 minutes. Yeah, I got that. It's a piece of cake. We get off the phone, and then I'm starting to think, I don't remember anything. So I started scrapping some things together. I did have a partial season summary. I don't know where I had it. Was in some little shoebox. I think my dad saved from clippings or whatever else. But the bottom half of it was water damage so bad. By the time we get to the national tournament, we'll get there. Together, it'll be a team effort, I think. All right. So anyway, take everything with a grain of salt. This is through the fog of 25 years worth of haze. And also, I was no sleep last night. I drove straight through after officiating a boys playoff soccer game last night and just got in the van and came. So I'm hopping on Starbucks and lukewarm at that. All right, so anyway. Okay, so 1992. It was insane. It was awesome. So I'm going to try to recollect this as best I can, not just my memories, but my memory of it, but the way it was. All right, so snapshots. Almost imagine this like in a dream montage, as it were. All right, so first thing is, we came from a lot of different places. We came from Wisconsin. We came from South Dakota. North Dakota. We came from Montana. We came from Texas. We came from California. We came from Oregon, Washington, we came from Hawaii, and also Vancouver, Canada. I think there was a kid in there, but maybe he got cut. I don't know. Maybe Coach didn't. But anyway, we came from all over. I remember the first thing was 3 days when you got there. I don't think that's even legal anymore, but we did a morning before dawn, the afternoon after classes, and then evening jogs or runs or whatever they were, and just repeat that circuit training. These are the early memories of what we went through together. I remember one particular practice where I think it was after one of our runs and we were stretching. This was right after the passing of Kurt Miller, who's a good friend of Coach. And I didn't know him personally. I learned to love the Millers later on after my time at York. But I remember him saying, you know, this is before the season started, before games. You know, carpe diem, boys, okay, you guys seize the day because we're all food for worms and that kind of stuff. It was, you know, it was inspiring, but that's what I remember, all right? All right, okay, let's go. And then the games began. Our first one, because I looked it up, was Community College in North Platte. 1-0, we took it to them. The thing I remember is, you know, as a freshman, this was my freshman year, so seasoned veterans like Luther and John Seaman and those guys, this was probably old hat. Some of the games that you go to have 0 fans. Nobody. There wasn't even like the charade of having bleachers there. It was 2 teams, 3 refs, and a ball. And we got out there and I was like, all right, welcome to college. And even with being a high school kid, you know, people came to our games in high school. In fact, every once in a while, for some of the bigger ones, we had a couple hundred there, but nobody was there, but we didn't need that at all. So we ended up winning 1-0. I remember a particular field trip then that Coach took us on to go see Creighton and SMU, the other team in Nebraska, those other guys, and just watching them, and then all of us being there in the bleachers, and some of the camaraderie there, and then, hey, let's go out and do likewise. After that, string of wins. I'm not going to belabor that because I don't remember most of it, all right? But there was a lot of wins apparently there. I got that part of it. I don't have who scored. I remember scoring some. I know a bunch of us scored. We must have defended well because there's a lot of goose eggs there, but we racked up some wins and some memories along the way. But there were 2 losses that season. And I do have 2 distinct memories from both of those losses. And they were mid-season. One of them from Cloud County. We traveled there, and they were good. And I think mostly foreign. I remember one guy doing a move that was like, I don't know how to do that at all. The thing I remember distinctly about it was playing that game, and I know that we were trying to run a particularly high line. That means our defenders were pushing up a little bit, and our sweeper, John Seaman, was pretty good at keeping that line and keeping some integrity there. But for whatever reason, and I think Coach did not appreciate the linesmen on this because they were getting through, and they got 2 goals on us in pretty short order. And I remember at one point, Coach Fisher can elaborate on this if you remember, remembers, but he was chewing out the refs, and at one point there too, they broke free again, and then he was getting so mad. I remember I was on the bench at the time, so it was Tim Carr. Yeah, Tim. Okay, I remember this. I remember at one point Coach just got so ticked, it's like, and the ball came over to him, and this is after another long non-offside call, and he just kicked the ball back out onto the field, and he was like, guys, come on off the field, let's get out of here, let's go, and then Tim Carr was like, no, Coach, we better not do that. Jumping out saying, no, and kind of grabbing him, and this is insane, but this is awesome. And we ended up staying and losing, but that's funny. The other loss that I remember as well, we had a good time. It was a great team trip, but Takeo Westmar University, you guys remember that, but they were a pretty good team too. It was a good game. The thing I really remember, this also involves Tim Carr, but they had a fence behind one of the goals that was, I think, designed to keep a Tyrannosaurus Rex in like the baseball field. It was super high. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I remember Timmy Carr teeing up a shot once and just launching it, and that thing went over the fence. And Takeo Westmar, at least they had fans. They were like, yeah! And yeah, we lost. I'm sure we learned valuable lessons from it. As we moved on through the season, though, the weather got a little colder. We got a little crisper. I remember some weird practices in Coach's yard for some reason. Doing some training there, but we were getting better. That's for sure. And just, things kind of knuckling down. I remember the Hawaiian guys being afraid of thunder and lightning because apparently it doesn't storm in Hawaii. And when snow started to fall, it was real weird for them to see that kind of stuff. And then finally we got ourselves to the national tournament, and this is where we get to some water damage on my schedule. I know we played New Hampshire Tech for the championship, but for the life of me, I don't know who we played in that game before that. So I think it was Lakeland? Northland? Was that Northland?
Wisconsin.
They were from Wisconsin, I remember that. Yeah. 4-0? Oh, we cruised. All right. So, well, all I remember is getting really cold. I remember we won, it was well in hand, and we weren't too nervous. And, I think we watched maybe some of New Hampshire Tech play in the game before that, but it was fun. But then that night, of course, it snowed, and you can see that reflected in the photographs. But the field was just completely covered with a ton of snow. We had to shovel off part of the line so that we could see the begin the championship game. It was us and New Hampshire Tech, and people, of course, came out. We were hosting it, so it was a lively atmosphere. I remember it was a later afternoon game. It started in daylight, but a ton of snow, and we went out there and we seized the moment. I think we did really, really well. We scored 3 goals in that first half. Correct? Yeah, we did. Great. Which, by all accounts, that ought to be it. That ought to be game over. 3-0. I remember coming off at halftime, and we were pretty pumped, and it was yeah, we got this in the bag, right? I remember even stopping and having hot chocolate instead of water for our halftime. I thought we were there. Too bad Brian Edmondson is not here, because I remember him particularly. He was starting to sing Luther Vandross at halftime, which if he's singing Luther at halftime, it's going well. But anyway, we get done with that, and we march back out on the field, which is now turned into a soup, which you can see, on the photographs as well. And New Hampshire Tech comes to life, and they score 1 goal. And I remember being out on the field during that time. It was like, all right, fine, we just got slapped in the face. They got one. All right, great. Then they got another one pretty quickly, and it was 3-2. And then it was like, all right, guys, you got to step it up. I remember a lot of chatter with teammates here trying to pick it up. And by this point, the field conditions had deteriorated so much that you couldn't dribble hardly anymore. You couldn't pass anymore with any accuracy. Everything that your body knew to do out on the soccer field had to totally recalibrate. And so it was rough. And they were able to claw back in. You can tell that the momentum, I've never played in a game where momentum had shifted so much. And it happened after that second goal. You could feel it. I think everybody can sense it too. They're not done. This is 3-2. It's panic time. And the field was a soup. And then they got goal number 3, which never happens in soccer. Nobody comes back at halftime and evens it up at 3. I mean, me being a bad. Stallone with, where's the goalie? Luther, you know what I'm talking about. All right, maybe in Hollywood that kind of stuff happens, all right? It's like Mighty Duck territory, but they get 3. They get their 3rd, and all of a sudden it's full-blown panic time. And I just remember thinking, there's no way that we can lose this. And then it seemed like we go back up. And maybe we start to learn how to play in those conditions. Because I remember a lot of combinations then starting to form. I even tried to dribble at one point and slop through some people and was able to dump it off. I remember a lot of yelling from the sideline too, from parents, from fans, just about picking it up. And you can tell the energy was changing yet again. And then I don't know exactly when it happened. It was late. I don't think we were an extra, into bonus time yet, but it was getting towards the end. I mean, it had to be with, them scoring 3 goals. But I remember the lights being on at that point. I remember mud everywhere. There was no line. I mean, you couldn't tell when the ball was sort of out of bounds or not. You couldn't tell where the goal boxes were. But I remember a ball coming out at some point, and then Coppinger coming in from probably about 22 to 25 yards out, him putting it in top shelf, left side, and that's it. I mean, we still had to play like a couple more minutes, I think. But, cue the house came and it was on. It was great. And so, what followed after that, of course, was a celebration I've never been a part of like that before or since. I think we totally destroyed that field for a decade. I don't know how you plant seed on it because it was soup. But everybody was swimming around. The whole team, fans swimming around in it. Apparently, Ball Boy was swimming around in it. I think townspeople that were walking by the game, let's get in there with them. It was all of a sudden, it was Woodstock all over. And I think we played that jump around song probably at least twice back to back. I know it replayed after it played through once, and it was great. We had our moment, we had our trophy, we had a celebration right there on the field. And then we all left and went back because we were all going to take showers over back at the gymnasium. And we are pumped. It's just us then. Our parents, anybody that was there, we already said goodbye to them. We were going to go shower up. We don't have the trophy anymore. I don't think Coach was anywhere near. He was taking care of some other business. It was just us walking those cobbled streets all the way back to the gymnasium in just clothes that were caked. Our hair was caked, and the mud was starting to freeze. But you could tell we were just alive. It was awesome. But then we get there, and the gym's locked. National champions, and we can't get in. But it didn't matter at first. We're still like, horsing around and still hugging each other and doing, just celebrating. It was awesome. But it was insane because nobody was coming to unlock the door at all. And then it got to a point where, okay, we're national champs. Yeah, this is awesome. And then it was like, man, dude, where's the keys? Because the mud was starting to cake on us, and Brewer couldn't quite move all of our limbs, and frostbite was starting to set in. But it didn't matter. We were national champs, and it just added to the whole mystique. It was insane. It was awesome. But that was 1992, as I sort of remember it, and hopefully you guys do as well. But that gives you a taste of what we went through. Thank you.
I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting, but that's really similar to what I thought might happen. So I appreciate you, Nate, doing that. We're going to show some highlights, right? We're going to try to show some highlights. This video comes courtesy of Matt Coppinger's dad, who has developed a highlight video, and so I think we at least have footage of some of the goals and the field conditions and different things that might have happened. So Stuart Sykes filmed it. Okay, all right. We're gonna show this whole video later on at a location upstairs in the middle room at about 2 o'clock. So if you want to watch the whole game, we're gonna try to have it playing up there in case you're interested in that. Just to carry on with the program, I've asked the captains from that team to each share a memory. So I'm gonna start out by introducing Chris Luther, and he'll be followed by Ricky Pruitt. welcome Chris Luther.
So a couple things to start here. Thank you very much. This is quite an honor to be up here. When I was talking to Bobby Dehart the other day, and he said, you know, Luther, what makes a really great coach? And I said, no, what's that? He said, really great players. So you're welcome, Brad. we try to beat you a little bit, so that's what we do. Close that. Just slide that over a little bit. I don't make lecturers put instructors. Okay. So Nate's talking about this 1-0 game that starts, and I'm sitting back. I really don't have anything prepared, so I'm just going to talk. You guys are used to that anyway. I don't really like the spotlight, so I'm a little nervous. After that 1-0 game that we started out with, Nate's worried about that, and the reason he remembers so many goals and so much happening positive after that is because the defense went to Coach Fisher and said, don't worry about us. Score goals, we'll win. You score more than 2 goals a game, we'll win. So our defense had that much confidence in what we were doing. We said, you figure out how to score goals, get them scoring goals, and we'll win every game. Guess it worked, except twice, right? So maybe we didn't score, maybe that's your fault. You guys didn't score that game. Right? Right, because we did our job. Maybe that's... Nate Reiser, sitting right up here, our goalkeeper, had this ridiculous troll doll that traveled with us, and he would put it beside the goal every game. And I thought we put our faith in God, but obviously he had other false idols that he was dealing with. So I was thinking about memories. Like Nate, and a lot of us, we don't remember the details. There was only really a couple people that I remember from the teams I played on that remember details. Seth Mohorn's one of them. Seth Mohorn can tell you everything that happened in any game he ever played in, and I vaguely remember playing. You know, it's like, yeah, we were there, right? We were there. So I'm trying to think of these memories, and all of this floods back in is just kind of the sense of why we were here. So what the direction I went with, what I want to talk about real briefly is, there's a kid on the team whose playing role was not a significant field player. His name was Steve Arledge. We called him Little Ed. And he painted a scene on the roof of my truck one day, and he asked me what I wanted on there, and I said, well, the 3 L's. And he said, what are the 3 L's? And I said, learn it, love it, live it. Right? So learn what it is, love what you do, and then live that. We were here, we were learning soccer, we were learning through Coach Fisher, and we loved what we were doing. We were all here because we loved what we were doing, and then that became part of us. So we started to live this experience. And so when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I coached here, for those of you who don't know, I coached here for about 13, 14 years. After Brad, I left and came back, but all my players, we had some success. I had some success as a coach, but nothing on the national level. And all my players would always ask me, what's the difference between the teams you played on and the teams that you've coached? Why can we not get to that level? And I said, we liked each other. Right? Like we genuinely cared for each other. And so in the diversity that we had, we looked at this, and you look at Coppinger, Nate, D-Town, like all these guys that are around, and we came from all over the place, but we genuinely liked each other. We wanted to play for each other. And so the other day I was sitting there thinking in these I like 3-letter alliterations, I guess. So I came up with 3 P's the other day: purpose, passion, and pride. And so when I think about the learn it, love it, live it, the purpose is the learn part, the love it is the pride part, and the live it is the passion part. So this crazy coach who's drop kicking a ball at a game, threatening to walk off, he left this one game at halftime. It was a Central Christian. You guys remember that? He left. He went to the other side of the field and sat with his parents because he was so mad at us. Right? But this guy was passionate about what he was doing. And so he walks around the other side of the field, and I'm like, where's he going? Like, what's happening right now? We still have another half. But the passion that this guy had for what he was doing gave us the freedom to be passionate. Right? So he's here, and our purpose is to represent the institution. Our purpose is to put out the best product we can. And we want to be proud of that. So we're going to love what we're doing. We're going to be proud of what we're doing. But man, I tell you what, if anything that I gained from my experience here, it was to be passionate about what you're doing. And that will infect other people. So I guess my biggest memory is coming out of this. You know, we can talk about scores and we can talk about stats, and D-Town and I had a pretty brilliant combination throughout the year. I mean, it was pretty fun, but it's everybody. It's not just D-Town and I connecting on a couple corner kicks. It's Ricky and I in the back. It's seeing Nate and Matt out on the field. It's seeing Tim. You know, knowing Nate Reiser has our back in the goal. All these things that just come together to allow us to be ourselves within this unit and just express our passion for what we're doing. So that's my memory. It's just I just thank Brad for the opportunity to be here. So thank you.
Man, good work so far from you guys. Don't know how much I'm going to add. On the 14-hour drive up here with my wife, I asked myself, why am I driving all this way, especially after about 6 hours? And so I start going through these dark moments of saying, why am I going to do this? And if you've ever run a marathon, maybe you've been through that moment at about mile 18 to 21 where the finish line is nowhere in sight, but at the same time, you know you have to finish, and you go through this dark moment of saying, why am I really doing this? And so I asked myself yesterday, I was like, am I that needy that I need to be somewhere that tells me that something was significant at some point so I can feel good? Something that I was a part of that all of a sudden validates who I am and what I've done. And as I thought through that, I also remembered how mile 25 and 26 feels in the marathon when you're finishing and you're getting to, and you're remembering why you're running, and you remember why you started, and you remember the training that you did in the early mornings, and how you're still able to move because of some things that you did to prepare for that moment. Your college prepared me for a lot of things, and as a team captain that year, one of the blessings was the relationships that I made. I've told Coach Fisher this many times. My senior year, I was signed up. I was on the football roster at Harding University to go in to be a place kicker. I was just going to go do that and be at school at another awesome Christian school. And I've got half of my tux on, and the phone is ringing on prom night, and it's Coach Fisher. And he's like, man, it's so good to talk to you. And he just does the Brad on me on the phone and just tells me how awesome it would be. Hey, I know this guy that if you come up here, you'll get to know him. He's a great guy. He'd be a good roommate for you, and it'd work out good. Some kid from California. And this kid ends up being the best man in my wedding. And we had an incredible time that freshman year. Fast forward to sophomore year. We came together as a team, and one of the things as Chris and I were talking this past week, what are you going to talk about? And I said, well, the thing that continues to stand out to me was that I knew who I was on the field with. And he said, you know what, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how we liked each other. So I want to tell you a little bit about our team. One of the things that was a blessing to be a captain is I knew who was on the field with me. Behind us, we knew Nate was going to be there. And you better not get past us on the through ball because he was going to come at you. And if he didn't get the ball, he's going to get you. But that's only after we didn't get you. We had a motto back on the defense, and it was either the ball gets through or the player gets through. Both of them did not get through. And we stuck to that. And having Kevin Reed on one side, who was intelligent, was always well-positioned, and we probably had the slowest sweeper of any team we played all year. I'm serious. John Seaman, if you ever watch this video, it's the truth. But he knew when to step, and he knew how to get us organized, and he knew how to keep us alert of what was happening. And again, there's a lot of goose eggs against the teams that we played because of the work that John did. And if you got through the midfield, you're going to have to deal with Luther. And if you came down the wings, you were dealing with me and Kevin. So we knew we could count on each other. Up top, there's not a game that I knew when Tim was playing that he was going to come off not tired. There wasn't a game that Cleveland wasn't going to play in that he wasn't going to fall 17 times, but he was going to get up 18. Are you talking again? This has been a surprise. No, we talked about this on the phone. I didn't know that Cleveland knew words, because this is what I heard Cleveland say. That's just, but it was shorthand. But you actually have a nice vocabulary. That's good to know. But seriously, you were going to knock him down, but he was getting up. And when Darren scored, not if, when Darren scored, it was an EPL celebration. He knew how to celebrate. He felt like he had just won the championship every goal that he scored. And he scored it with flair. And those are the guys that we played with. Matt streaking up the sidelines, steady, confident, and don't let him shoot, because you're going to pay for it. B-Love coming up, acting all chill, and then streaking up the middle on you. We had a lot of guys who were playing. Matt Smith, Lance Takao. Lance had a lot of flair, a lot of soft touch. But Smith, if you were near him, he was going to eat you up. And you did not want to be him. He was worse than a Houston mosquito, okay? He was just bad to the bone and was gonna haunt you. In fact, he gave you the through ball on that goal in the finals. So we had some incredible players. And I want you to know a little bit about them for some of you guys who are still playing now, or some of you coaches who are here, and some of you guys will remember a lot of these players. But together with Nate, with me and Kevin on the outside, with Chris and Seaman, playing in the middle of the defense, having Matt, Lance, Matt Smith, and Tim Carr playing on the outside, Drew, Bobby, and Brian, and Darren playing up on the top. We liked each other, and that was good. But the confidence that I had in that game was that I knew who was stepping out on the field with me. And there's a verse in the Bible in Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 that I'd like to share with my brothers, my teammates from the team 1992. And I can say this, and Coach, you're included in on this. Paul is talking to some people who he had shared life with. And he's actually got a pretty sharp disagreement with them at this point, and he's trying to get them to live right. And he says this in his introduction: I thank my God every time I remember you. And I want you guys to know that. And it was special to be a part of a team with you, to walk the roads that we walked, to travel in the long van rides together, and to be a part of one another's life. The national championship was cool, but the confidence that I took from those games and from being a part of that team has been a blessing to my life. So I do thank God every time I remember you and the shared time that we had together. Thank you.
This plaque reads, because their accomplishment 25 years ago as a small college athletic association's national champions. On October 20th, 2017, 1992 Panther men's soccer team was inducted in the York College Athletic Hall of Fame as a team of distinction. Coach Fisher.
Extemporaneous on that speech, and I realized I'm aging, and I forget words when they don't come to me as much as I like to. But this team was a team of distinction, and that is what this Hall of Fame induction is a team of distinction. I'd like to thank Jared Stark and the athletic department of York College, Dr. Heckman, the faculty and administration for this great honor for these guys. You know, guys, Bruce Springsteen said we'd do this. I don't know, glory days. They're just, we'd sit around and talk about the glory days, and sure enough, he told us we'd do this, and it did. But what Bruce may have kindly, mockingly said would happen, well, let's just set the record straight. You earned this. You earned this. Like Doc Graham said in the movie Field of Dreams, you know, we just don't recognize the most significant moments of our lives while they're happening. Back then I thought, well, there will be other days. I didn't realize that was the only day. And I remember that day at York College when you guys won that championship. This was a significant moment in life, and these guys didn't miss it. They knew then, as they know now, the glory of that moment. And if it was the only day in their lives to experience glory, well, we're here today to remind them of what a glorious day it was. A great and glorious day. In the fall of 1992, young white-eyed boys ready to be men arrived from Wisconsin, Texas, Hawaii, Montana, South Dakota, Washington, California, Omaha, and Hastings, and other points on the globe at this little humble college in a town called York. They all settled together with one thing in common, the game of soccer. They would learn to respect each other, even love each other. They worked hard. Side note, I don't think I worked a team harder than this team. We started every practice with a 3-mile timed run, and John Seaman complained about it every day. But couldn't do it in the time allotted, had to do it again, and it wasn't much fun. They learned to play. They learned to play together. To trust the skills of the player next to them, and man, were they in shape. They ran so much in practice then, they're still fit today. Look at them. They're still fit. They didn't know then that someday they would become doctors and teachers and ministers and businessmen and presidents of organizations. They didn't know that they would become fathers and husbands and coaches. But they did become all those things. At the time, they were just boys, ready to come in, ready to see what glory lay before them. There was a movie that was made with that very name, Glory, about a band of African-American Union soldiers who had a dire task before them. The story about their courage against insurmountable odds was a story of legend. They were ridiculed and looked down upon, but they fought, and they fought for a purpose higher than themselves. They didn't fight for glory, but glory is what they received. Teddy Roosevelt spoke of glory. Glory is only the person striving and in the game mind experience. He said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or whether the doer of deeds could have done it better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." That's about glory. And this team, this 1992 York College men's soccer team, lived that. Not a game went by, not a practice where they didn't leave everything they had on the field. Their faces were marred by dust and sweat and blood, and they, thanks to God, got to know the great enthusiasm of victory. Really, they got to know glory. Glory is one of those things that's hard to describe. Webster says it's high renown or honor won by notable achievements. A team of distinction, this one is, and they knew the notable achievement. It's fitting that this team is being entered into the York College Athletic Hall of Fame today as a team of distinction. And now a word to the guys directly. We are often told to give God the glory, and today we will. To God gives the glory for this great honor. Yes, God is a recipient of glory from us, and rightfully so. He is worthy of honor and praise. He brought you men as young men together to play His beautiful game. So to God be the glory. But let me say this to you as well. God is not some egotistical dry sponge simply and solely soaking up our praise. No, He is also a giver, the best giver. And on that cold, dark, wet Nebraska November evening, He gave to us a glimpse of glory. Glory that will live on in our hearts and souls and minds as long as we have breath. And when our lives are over and our glory has faded, we will have known what glory is from that simple glimpse of it. We will have seen this glimpse of glory in our lives, a glimpse of glory, your gift from God. So yes, Mr. Springsteen, we will sit around and talk about the glory days, and there will be great stories to tell, because they are our story of glory. Congratulations, man. You're in this great honor today. Thank you. Now, will you guys please come up and join me?
Another member of our team, which made significant contribution to us that year, is Jeremy Maxwell. Just not remembered him, so I want to make sure as a team captain we honor him playing left side for us.
Thank you, Ricky. I want to make sure I mention two other folks that are here. When the team first started, we have two original members of the men's YC soccer program who arrived at York, Nebraska in the mid-60s. I'd like to have them stand and be recognized. Please welcome Salah Ibrahim and Kareem Karam. Stand up, guys. Tim, you're going to follow Matt.
On the collegiate coaching side now, you see things from a different perspective. But what I do know for sure is that recruiting is huge. Recruiting is huge, and Coach Fisher did a phenomenal job recruiting. But he recruited guys that were like him, fiercely competitive, and were guys that wanted to have a great team as well, to have that team dynamic that you hear from all these guys. And so that's what we were. I mean, if we sat down and we had Candyland in front of us, we would be fighting over who's going to win some game of luck, as we were fiercely competitive. And just one story to illustrate, Nate actually got it wrong. We did not play Take Your Westmont, or did not lose to them that year. We lost to Central Christian College. We played a bunch of foreigners though, and we were like, whoa, what just hit us and beat us 7-2. We lost 7-2. This team, yes, this national championship team. But I don't know how this happened. For some reason, they were on our schedule to play. We were to play them again at home for homecoming. We're supposed to play the team that beat us 7-2 for homecoming? How does that happen, Coach? But you know what? At practice every day, that's all we wanted. We wanted to play that team. We weren't scared at all. We were fiercely competitive. And turns out we beat them at homecoming. That's this team. That's the character of this team. We're fighters, and we loved playing with each other and for each other, dying on that field for each other. And I'm honored to be a part of these group of guys. Didn't know at the time how special that was. So thank you guys. I want you to know also now I'm part of a great coaching staff, a great team of fiercely competitive coaches that are out there busting their tails, recruiting the best student athletes in the nation to get the job done. And coaches, thank you for all your hard work. I get to see Stefan up close a lot more than the rest of you, but I just know that you can be confident, alumni, you can be confident what's going on right now is what went on 25 years ago from the coaching side of things. Again, just thank you team, thank you current coaches for keeping that alive.
Just as we wrap up, I'm gonna
Father in heaven, we just thank you so much for opportunities that you give us, that you put in front of us. Opportunities to be part of things that are bigger than us, opportunities to do things that will bring glory to you. We thank you for your college and all the things that it means to us here. We thank you for those that continue to work here and continue to build the legacy of your college and work through you. We thank you for their work, for all of the things they do to bring students to you. We thank you for all of their hard work and how they bring students back and remember things that happened. And we pray that we will continue to work for you. And we thank you for hearing our prayers and being with us always. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.
On the hill of the rising sun stands the college we hold so dear. Rooted deep is our loyalty, grounded firm is our faith sincere. In our hearts will ever be blue and white, a blessed memory. Through the years our voices raise and praise to thee. All hail, your hail. Looking down on a busy town stands the college with name so high. For the best in our work and sport, we are glad we can sound the cry. In our hearts will ever be blue and white, a blessed memory. Through the years our voices raise and grace to thee. All hail,